up? It's Guru Jojo, and in this particular video, I'm going to be giving a quick message about the whole coronavirus situation. Now, normally I don't like speaking about topics that are being like overly hyped at the time, just because it's just like, I don't know what it is. My energy has always been like that. When something's being overly spoken about, it's like irritating to me. So I tend to like go in the opposite direction. But trust me, I have looked up the word. I saw that corona means crown, and it has something to do with like some sort crown of narcissus chakra. Flower. And this is your divine intelligence, and it's located right here. Hence my guru bun. All right. So this is connected to your divine intelligence. All right, and your divine intelligence is basically the intelligence of being able to see above, like, everything, because it's basically an energy where the person becomes very connected to spirit, and because of that, they're able to kind of see everything that's interconnected within this matrix. So they're able to kind of break it apart and put it all back together, and they can see how things are created and how things are all the same. And they can see like the different micro and macro levels of everything, and it's divine consciousness. The main takeaway I feel like from this whole coronavirus thing is the need to balance between spirituality and practicality, like being a person that is more religious and dependent upon things like God, faith, prayer, meditation, versus being a earthly being and just focusing on, you know, connecting to the environment and the resources we readily have available to us, and being like a cleanly sanitary type of person. So if someone is to catch something like the coronavirus, if they are too earthly and dependent upon practical resources of healing, right now there's no official treatment. So to be so dependent upon something like that could be detrimental to that person's health, right? So this wouldn't be a good thing. So that's what I mean, there needs to be a balance. On the other hand, a person who is too dependent upon God, spirit, prayer, meditation, there's an issue with this too, because at the end of the day, we do have resources that are readily available for us, like simply just washing your hands with warm water for, you know, a good amount of time, because some people just wash their hands for like 2 seconds. I think you sing like the happy birthday song or something like that while you wash your hands, and that's how long you're supposed to wash your hands for. I think so, from what I remember. But like just using soap and water and just like washing your hands, a lot of people forget to do that. Like I never forget how many times, especially when I was in college, like I would see people not wash their hands. Like just watch, like, you know how many people touched the flipping like stall and stuff, and like just wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. Now, a lot of people overly use hand sanitizer and stuff like that. That's an issue too. You know, it's like the most health conscious people be the most sick, because they kill their good bacteria that kills off illnesses and stuff. So it's like we need to be more balanced in our earthly intelligence. We need to be more balanced in our practical intelligence. We need to be more self-aware of our sanitary regimens. Whatever that word is, regime. I know I talk weird sometimes. I don't know why. That's, you know, I don't know why I talk weird sometimes. You know, it is what it is. So routine. You need to be more conscious of your health routines, basically. With that being said, right, it's just important to be a cleanly person. Like I was saying, if you're a person who's just too earthly, like you're going to make yourself go crazy, because you're not going to have the ability to control your mind, to bring your mind into a positive state without knowing, is there a treatment that can cure it? You see? And then again, if you're too spiritual, you're just going to depend solely upon like, oh, I'm just gonna say like, I'm just gonna pray and think positively, and then you're not like realistic. You're forgetting to wash your hands. You're forgetting to use hand sanitizer and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a cleanly person too? You know, like, also just to be more aware of or more discerning in the places that you go to. Like, why would you go to a party or a lounge or a bar right now? Like, that's probably not a good idea. You know, what's what's a good idea is like taking a walk outside. You know, I think that's what's going on right now, and you know, I've been avoiding that too, and I plan to go like walking with my mom this week basically. But like, I think that's like a good idea to go walking and just enjoying the environment as it is, rather than like trying to go to the mall, rather than trying to go to the movies. Ain't nothing wrong with these things, but I think that we became too like structured into neglecting the appreciation of the earth. And now we should be more driven towards that, like things like just going to take a walk outside, or just sitting outside on the lounge or the porch and just like having a conversation with somebody or something like that. And so also too, you know, just connecting with others. Like, we're always in a rush. Like, our priorities are jacked up. We're always like acting like we don't have time to do things. Like, I'm telling you, I get worried sometimes. Like, I've been worried for a long time now. Like, I think about like how people don't have time to do things anymore. Nobody listens to anybody no more. Nobody appreciates anybody anymore. Everybody just listens to things, watches things, or pay attention to things in order to serve their own agenda of manifestation. And it gets to a point where there's no longer going to be any audience for anybody anymore, because everybody wants to be the entertainer. Like, it's like you can be the entertainer, but you have to learn to be the audience too. There's an imbalance in today's society. That's what I'm noticing. There's an imbalance. And so it's like, if there's an imbalance naturally in this area of life, there's always going to be a reflective monetary imbalance, economy imbalance, because at the end of the day, this society runs on audience and entertainer. When I say this is as simple as having a brand and having people buy it. That's what's going on with today's society. Everybody wants to recycle stuff. Nobody wants to actually support something just to support it. And this is destroying our economy, and this is destroying just society as a whole. And that's how I feel like that's what I'm seeing on a broad dynamic. And I don't know if we can fix it. That's what's scary. That's why I don't really want to talk about this topic, because I don't know if we can fix it. I don't know, like, because the problem is that there's too much energy in the area of one's ideals, of good orderly direction. Like, too much energy in the area of one's own outlook on philosophical principles, one's own outlook on how things should be. Like, people really think that their outlook is that important. And and a lot of people don't like to hear that, but I'm telling you, it's not that important. What's important is to have a collective agreement upon these things, and so that there can be support, and then the continuation of a movement, a product, a brand, entertainment. That's what this society is about. It's all about like the exchange of information and energy, but it's like nobody really wants to like take something in for what it really is. Everybody just they want to be like the creator. And it's like, we are all creators, but there's limits to a lot of things. Like, a lot of people live in la la land, they don't understand their limits. And I just think this is like destroying our society today. And this directly has to do with the coronavirus. I'm telling you, because it's all about this balance between what's realistically possible, what realistically makes sense, what's natural here on this earth, versus what is in la la land, what is in your head, what is an imagination, what is a dream. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. Like, we're being tested. I mean, I've been doing these tarot readings for a couple months now, and I've been pulling out this goddamn world card and this judgment card and the tower card. And, you know, we all saw it coming, but it's just like we didn't know how it was going to be represented. Now it's here, and it's just like, what do we do now? The only thing we can do now is just wait and be within the energy that we're being pushed into, which is basically to just appreciate the earth for what the earth is, and stop trying to like replicate an energy. Like, everybody's trying to like, nobody wants to like work for something like anymore. It's like people just want to try to like to mock an energy or replicate an energy. And then certain people is like, you know, certain people come from the same energy, so expressions are bound to be the same or bound to be similar. Like, we tend to become whatever we entertain. Like, that makes sense, but it's like there's just certain things that just don't make sense. It's just like I'm seeing things and it's just like, why? Like, why? Like, it's like certain people are losing their identities. They don't even know why they're doing certain things, and it's just like la la land. I'm telling you, like, we have to wake up as a society. Like, me personally, you know, I watched specific YouTube channels for years before I finally decided to make a video. Like, I just got up to my 200 videos a couple days ago, which means I made literally over 200 videos, just over 200 videos. I'm at like 202 right now or something like that, in under 1 year. But before I started making making videos, I literally watched videos for years. Like, I'm speaking like over 4 or 5 years. So I didn't just like watch a video and feel like I'm gonna do that, that's me. Like, a lot of people, they just hear something and see something and think that it's like their aspiration and dream and goal too. Like, no, maybe that video came across your pathway because there's a message you need to learn from it, not because you need to be that person or try to do the same thing. Like, a lot of people just don't know where their boundaries are today. And I'm not even just saying this specifically for things like making a YouTube video or making music or being like an artist or being a news reporter or being anything. Like, this is for literally anything on a broad dynamic. There's an issue between really like listening to information and taking in information versus people just wanting to see a sign, or like, and there's nothing wrong. We should see signs and stuff. Like, we should utilize this information that we have available to us, but it's like too much ulterior motives, and when that happens, like, the society comes crashing down. What the problem is in today's society, there's people who do things for the wrong reasons, and it's like at the same time I always see things from multiple angles. So I'm like, that's what some people learn. Some people learn to live life that way. So they don't see it as being right or wrong. They see it as they gotta do what they gotta do, because society, the situations from the past and stuff put people in that predicament. But it's like, I just, you know, that stuff is deep, because it's like, where are things considered to be like unjust? Like, it's just people doing things for the wrong reasons, and I don't know, it's messed up, yo. So that's my opinion on the coronavirus. Like, that's how I feel about it. I just feel like people need to wake up and like balance between being spiritual versus just like being overly practical and depending too much on money and depending too much on like a treatment. Like, eventually a treatment's gonna be manifested, like a approved treatment, I'm sure is gonna like come about. But it's like, right now, for some reason, we're being driven to not depend solely upon that, because what this means is that we have the natural capabilities to be healthy. So that's how I feel about the situation, and that's all I gotta say. So thank you for watching. Blessings, light, and love. Peace out.